Hi, hi, hi. So many options. Yeah. It's not big. I'm like, so everything fine. When the goes out, really bad, no? That is the different. I already got the floor. I can't remember the version. It's not. Lead action.
I told him you're very good.
We thought we'll wait. He said,
Yeah.
he's on. Oh.
But we'll wait. Yeah.
Here.
So I think he said that you know not or not
I think just going up.
I said that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Oh.
I was there another son.
Oh, man. Keep on making that. Not to figure out this. I thought, wow, it's not like become like my what how we waited the whole I'm going more than you. I said that you possibly can get out of it. The thing is, and see my reviews and stuff. It's a wonder about it. Just be glad that you're talking about me was better Johnny. That's the kind of player we can see. Like that's all I'm spending. I think it's I thought. So take them lectures, you know, I did a video and there was you can see that yeah, at least. Yeah. I think so. I do that on the yes, I know the so what I think that frankly that was on the oh you see right here without I may have that here. And you might find it's all I don't know what to try. Yeah, that's what it should be. It's one more. Not just that. I think that is very possible. I didn't do it. He that was the nice to work. Why you things you die. And I know. When you have that all and you actually no, then you three the fall, particular.
It's recorded. Yes, recording. So they can log it. Yes. They want to, they can log in. This is our phone. I arrange it. Are you getting additional? Yeah.
And now. Yeah, it's like I'm also thinking that other words to get I'm so sure it's not about.
Yeah.
It takes.
Oh, is it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
They was like and I believe everything demand. But the sort of one year, silver foundation, but they young the one is such a very we can do better. And I think they don't know how much they go job and we get this and we what they have to wait a couple of years they will take about that. I got people away. Did that? Where I'm I won't break together in the it's for that we stop on the phone. And you got a public situation. They have also usually make a lot of bigger. And every time I get a person, you want to get your own personality, they want to do a very organized. You say you want to get that, they are reaching. They are doing the other you it is He's over there and we'll get to the show from the day. He's made it very easy. Some of this will be fast. Then, yeah, sections in the beginning, we are reduced the space on the process. And they don't even notice. From that, outside family. So it's fine. When the big middle school, well, it's just going to everyone is in that. So they're going to be about 2 hours. I'll go on that some morning. There's no other and all I was doing. I'll bring the one day, but when you want to don't just come to they don't go to school. I already had it back to the union. I don't know. If I can about it, I think it's also he said, even I'm going to at least you say you want me. What you did was that's what I thought, but it's similar. It's really more I think it's really, and you go to be from the daylight. Yes, no, but what you to me, so last experience on that, on the same thing, now the trash was more important in the train. They would care what nobody, even though I put the, you can have to leave it my did put you in because I even their name. The leader can figure out what to make it, you can make that too. I'm thinking of what even
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much. And it's lovely seeing you here. I know it's a rainy day and not the ideal day for you to get out of the house and to be joining us in a session like this. And I'm pretty sure we have an audience in the virtual platforms as well. A quick reminder, if I may ask the audience here today, there are seats right in front that is quite limited. If you can come on to the front, it's a kind suggestion from me. Just to come a couple of rows to the front because we have a fairly small audience. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much once again. And of course, the time right now is around 6:33. And we'll let you know how long the session goes on. And of course, you know, at the end of the session, we have something special planned for the audience today. So once again, a very good evening and welcome to an interactive discussion forum on the topic from CXO to CEO, a joint initiative from AICPS together with the Career Guidance and Skills Development Committee and Seminars, Workshops and Programs Committee of OPA. Now, as a country, it's given that we are in the midst of a very, very challenging situation with updates, the updates that you heard yesterday as well, that makes you think twice and thrice when deciding on what would be your next corporate goal. Further, what are the decisions that needs to be taken as an individual as well as a family? Now, as AICP, CIMA, and OPA, we strongly believe it is through platforms of this nature that enables us to think, plan, and execute the decisions that supports your ambitions. Well, we have an audience who's very keen on absorbing the content today, and beyond just absorbing, since we have a very limited crowd, you are welcome to ask questions and clarify any queries that you may have from the panel of speakers here today. Now, to begin, let me divert your attention to the screen, the two messages from CIMA as well as
giving them access to education, to credentials and designation, preparing the profession into the new digital world. So many managers role technology plays in the future of accounting finance and acting agility, even during computing progress. Through it all, we continuously explore technical professional standards, guidance, ethics, and trust, and tangible opportunities. However, economies grow, societies comfort, and inspiring innovation of accounting and finance professions. We're all doing the hard work, the work that's worth doing because we know that together we are forces keep moving forward. And we always win.
It's a due extension. The constitution also gave way for the constitutional in the security of the parliament. He said, as this internal project, the OPA also create a national role as a respect, he said. The institution of the OPA was also considered by several official bodies strongly for the establishment of one common legal institution, which will later become currently of official media. And this process of carried forward the images of the foundation based in the UK, a joint the joint policy areas of economics and policy. Since then, decision has been to the policy institution with the investigation of myself in the nation. For the big time of stage today, the OPA is recognized as a human organization based on reliable information and then only single organization group the officials of the foundation process remember within Juba for basic progress the obedience achieved in the days of survey the nation obviously. Therefore, yes, the obedience to the body with the mission of being the independent and violent body of vision associations of the districts and imply unprofessional management standards for any institute have the movement of efficiency and the acceptance of the unity as the body is the and national development. Today, the is commonly operate and community laws organization and is the same this top based on organizations currently standing at today the total energy of without significant 15 also professionals pay various teams whose operation will be extensive in numbers. The organizations include 10,000 across all number of sectors, ranging from medical to legal, engineering to marketing, management, and various other institutions. OPAs with access on the page organizations can be involved in conducting various programs, activities, seminars, workshops, lectures, etc. for national issues and even the important subject areas about members and general public. In this regard, coverage in law works is all as candidate for one of the most special frameworks and executive associations are terms such. The conservation of individual persons as legal speakers. On the outcome of this annual conference that is founded within the uniformities from cooperation within your citizens. In the past 30 years, due to plethora of milestones, responsibility is unmostly had achieved standards, and these milestones include establishment of professional center within all professionals
And we all is looking for a ministry under the extension of recharge the OPA. Introduction of applications here for was extending under the progress of age, with preparation of national issues transform. The region's development of local issues facing conditions and development. Preparations where authorities implementation received of national laws on new issues such as basic law and indigeneity and the learning on the regulations of the OPA. Some of the members of the conditions now recommendations in the OPA and importantly, the OPA has been able to boost the government and compare some of the users packages. Let's get on the regulations and the development instrument of the OPA also organizes activities in progress, which include a single tab area and considerations on the activities and new activities along with the design and business integrations. This science will be and very well. It will be explanation. It is very highly innovative. Please finish. Future of and limited technology. We are non-handling. His regard, which is us and the only best of every associations. Organization associations, which normally just associations as the instant farm girl and syndicate was papers law, form associations across the disciplines. And the OPA will really be intended and how we can deploy our professional organizations parameter, which we also scan. This English without all of the instructions in history on
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was a message from SEMA as well as a message from OPA. Well, as promised, we have an interesting evening ahead of us, followed by a delicious meal. So let's get quick. To officially welcome the audience here today, it's my pleasure in inviting Mr. Dulitha Perera, the President of OPA, a chartered accountant by profession, a partner at KPMG Sri Lanka with over 28 years of experience in numerous global and regional projects. He's a former council member of CS Sri Lanka, Rotarian, and an elite corporate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dulitha Perera.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, those who are joining physically here at, I think at the last moment because of the inclement weather that we are experiencing. We have also made arrangements to send a Zoom link and those who are joining online, also I would like to welcome a formal welcome before I begin the formal welcome. General Secretary OPA, Engineer Kalijawardena, past presidents who are present this evening at this forum, executive council members, the forum members of OPA, members of CIMA, and center members of OPA. I would also like to welcome here the resource personnel this evening. Ms. Roshani Moraes, CEO Link Natural Products. Ms. Zara Ansari, Country Manager, CIMA Sri Lanka. Mr. Chana Gunwardena, CEO of Dankotua Porcelain PLC and Royal Fernwood Porcelain Limited. And my other two colleague office bearers who were instrumental in putting this show together, seminars, workshops, programs committee chairman, Engineer Saman Kandanearachi, and Career Guidance Skills Development Committee Chairman, Engineer Ravi Singha, and other ladies and gentlemen. The topic that CIMA has chosen for this evening's joint seminar is how digital finance could help, and also to talk about how the transformation could happen from chief officers to a chief executive officer. I think it is very important for all of us who are representing different professions to understand the role that is played by a CEO as opposed to being just an employee of an organization. And how and what are the challenges that chief executive officers are facing, and in particular, in the current situation that the country is facing. So, a lot of people say it's we are all going through challenging times, but if you look at the flip side of it, there are maybe a lot of opportunities that we could take benefit from without really looking at the pitfalls we have. So we have an eminent and knowledgeable panel who is here to talk about it, to talk about how to be relevant to uncertain times, how to be bring out your personality. You need not change just because your position changes. Just bring your personality out in doing what you are doing. And also a very important element of change. A lot of people say they resist change. How do we adapt and embrace change is something that we are all going to learn from today's panel. So without much ado, I would like to wish this seminar all the best, and I'm eagerly waiting to hear what the speakers would have to say this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dulita. Next in the agenda is an introduction to the evening as to what you can expect in the next 75 odd minutes. So to do the honors, I now have the pleasure in inviting Engineer Saman Kandanarachi, Vice President of OPA and Chairman of Seminars, Workshops and Programs Committee. He's a chartered engineer and a member of IASM.
Thank you. Very good evening. Head of the panel, member of the table, and past presidents, and forum members, and OPA members. Actually, as the chairman of the seminar committee, we had the objective of doing at least 10 seminars for this year, and this is the 9th seminar we are conducting as the one of the seminar. And objective is actually works the association organization to share technical knowledge with other technical organizations or member organizations, then sharing and having the network session. So accordingly, this topic is about digital finance. I know this is a hot topic, important one. Actually, we lined up this one with the ICT, but we didn't have much time. But anyhow, thank you so much, SEMA, for extending your support. Actually, this organized in a very short time period. I can remember Mr. President Gopi and the Tasker all on and because arrange it. So thank you all the SEMA members and the association in this one. So I would like to see the success of this session. So thank you very much. Probably.
Thank you very much, Saman. And with that, we are now moving on to next line item in the agenda. The OPA has, I believe, over 52 member organizations and sharing technical knowledge, as that was correctly said by Saman, is a part of the mission in working with the members of these member organizations. So in doing so, we have an intro to the activities conducted on careers and skills development by Engineer Ravi Rupasinha, the Vice Chairman of OPA once again, and also the Career Guidance and Skills Development Committee. Vice President of OPA and the Chairman of Career Guidance and Skills Development Committee, OPA. And of course, he's right here with us. Just to give you a quick intro on who he is. He's the Treasurer of IET Sri Lanka Network Session for 2021-2022, and also a Management and Executive Council member of Ceylon National Chamber of Industries, and a board member of Energy Managers Association Sri Lanka. And beyond that, he's also the Secretary of Professional Engineers Association and the President of EGSF. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ravi Rupasinghe.
Thank you very much for the introduction about myself. Good evening, everybody. Dear President of the OPA, as well as the head table, the speakers at head table, and with the audience, even our partners included. I think this seminar is organized by the Career Guidance and Skill Development Committee together with the seminar workshops and program in combination with the SEMA, Sri Lanka. We should discuss the important topic when it comes to the person who is trying to reach the top level in their career. The careers form an important part of the person's life, and we invest heavily in making a good career from very young age. Reaching the C-level position, I would say, is a great accomplishment someone could have in their career. But building the career path in order to achieve such a massive role take a lot of skills and hard work. It's a circular for CEO or anyone at a higher position to have an overall understanding of many areas and develop skills such as leadership, communication, creativity, and time management, and extra. These skills and knowledge help business to achieve higher goals. With technology, many new tools and trends have been introduced, but not all of these technologies have been proven to be effective. A good leader should know how to select and utilize their tools in order to make the most out of their business. Digital finance is also such a tool which can be used effectively in management and decision-making process. Our speakers today from SEMA, Sri Lanka, will explain well about the topic as they are the expert in the area. I think without taking much time, our speakers will enhance your knowledge, sharing the knowledge with our members in the OPA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Engineer Ravi Rupasinghe, the Vice President of OPA and the Chairman of Career Guidance and Skills Development Committee. Well, from CXO to CEO, how digital finance help is your theme this evening. Now, let's get going. We'll bring in the first speaker, Mr. Chandra Gunawardana, and his profile is about half a page, but I'm not going to read the entire thing. But I'll just say this: he's currently the CEO of Dankodur Porcelain PLC, and also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants UK, and also a fellow of CS Sri Lanka. And he also has an MBA from University of Southern Queensland, Australia, and holds a first-class degree from the Department of Accountancy and Financial Management of the University of Sri Lanka. He's reading for his PhD with Management and Science University in Malaysia. He's also recognized as the country's leading SEMA case study lecturer and conducts leadership programs for youth in his background. He's my lecturer as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first speaker, Mr. Chandra Gunawardana.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, SEMA. Thank you very much for organizing the event and inviting me. So, given the 15 minutes that has been allocated for me, I'm trying to share 4 messages. Right? So, I will say the messages one by one, and then let's have a 1-minute discussion whether you agree with the message that I share. And if you do, if both of us agree it's a valid message, let's try to share with us. You will have a lot of younger people who are working with you that you need to inspire. You will have a lot of people who will come to you for the guideline. So let's try to share those messages if both parties, you and me, agree that it's a valid message. So I'll try to go through only 4 messages. Let me start with the first one. Message number 1. Message number 1 is about happiness. Generally, we have a belief. Achievements will give us the happiness. Which means when you get a promotion, you will be happy. Which means you will get a better job, you will be happy. Which means when you pass exams, you will be happy. So general belief is achievements will give us the happiness. My argument, I do agree achievements will bring us happiness, but my argument is more importantly, more critically, I think the relationship between achievements and happiness is the other way around, where the happiness will give us a lot of achievements. As an example, if you do your job very happily, I'm sure you'll get a promotion. If you get involved with a project, a company, organization happily, if you're doing that, and if you're being happy in doing that, I'm sure there will be a lot of achievements coming. So my first message is, not achievements will give you happiness, but the happiness will give you achievement. In other words, argument is happiness is not a destination that we are waiting to achieve. Happiness is a journey. Happiness is a decision that we take on day-to-day basis. Whatever that happens. I mean, there are enough reasons for us to be happy now today. After COVID, we are having a nice event here, physical event. See how many people went through quite a bad times within the COVID period. But here we are. So there are enough reasons for us to be happy. Let me give you an example. I worked for a very short period of time as a CEO director of Spence Garment. So one of my factories is in Mathgal. So I had to go to Gold sometimes I'll go for a quick meeting and come back. So one day, late evening, I had a meeting in Colombo at the Spence office. Then I said, let's go to Gold and quickly have this meeting. Of course, I was late. There were some visitors who came from Germany, some of my customers. So I told my driver, let's go a little fast. So in the highway. So driver said, sir, no, the requirement is mine. Otherwise, he would like to go happy and he would like to go fast anyway. But the requirement is mine. So he's telling, sir, there will be police. I said, never mind, let's take a risk and go. With the right vision or road vision, we'll argue later. But the point is, so he drove quite fast. And we went to go. He was happy, I was happy. No one stopped us. Had the meeting for 45 minutes. Now I want to come back. So when we were to come back, we got into the highway again. Now I can see my driver is driving at the same speed. So I asked him, I don't have a meeting in Colombo, I'm not in Harikoski. He told me, he said, don't worry, we'll go at high speed, they won't catch me. So I said, I'm not responsible, your decision. I'm not sure. They don't price. I said, it's okay. So I'm having a good time in the seat and he's driving at high speed. So I live in Kottasekku, so when we came to Kottava, when we were close to Kottava, he's in a very happy mood. But I know the game is when you try to exit, no. So when you try to exit, the police guy with the vehicle was stopped. To give you, I was happy now. I can give my driver a lecture now. I can tell you that's what I told you. No? So now he went. So I can see from the side mirror he's having a discussion with the 2 police gentlemen. This guy is now coming back. So he's coming back now. I'm prepared to give him a lecture. I won't tell him, listen to me, right? I told you to come slow. But my problem is I can see he's coming, but his face is very happy face. So he got into the vehicle, started to drive. So I asked, what happened? Now he's in a very happy face, which I don't like now. Right? So then I asked him, what happened? Didn't they give you a charge sheet? They gave me a charge sheet. So I came at 140. They quote me only at 112. I said, did they give you a charge? Of course they do. Look at what they quote me only at 100. He said, sir, my driver, he's in a very bad situation to be well. But he found a reason to be happy. I mean, he's in a very bad situation, but he's talking about a worse situation that, and even the penalty, I don't think there's a difference. But he's trying to say, no, no, I didn't get caught at 140, go on there. Driver now, that driver is no more with me, not because of the speed, due to other reasons. So my sister, when my sister comes to Sri Lanka, then I have no option. I give my vehicle and the driver for her to go here and there, in the present time. So my sister told me recently, in the last visit, Aya, your driver told me that you can't do your job without him. I said, what do you mean? He's a driver, I can get a driver from anywhere. What do you mean I can't do my job without him? My driver has told my sister, your brother can't do anything without him. So my sister has asked, obviously, why? He has a meeting from one place to other, he has only 30 minutes to go. Since I'm going very fast, we can go for the next meeting. What an unfair coming. If that driver is not there, if he goes slow, I'll arrange a meeting in such a way. Since I know he's going very fast, I'll arrange a meeting in such a way. In the same year, we had set a very high profit target for, then I was in Hydra. We had set a very high profit target for Hydra. We achieved 95% of it and we've been unhappy. Because we set a very high target. We achieved 95% and we've been unhappy. Look at my driver. He has set a very low target. And been very happy about it. So my point is, happiness has nothing to do with what we achieve. Happiness is a decision that we take on daily basis. There are enough reasons for us to be happy. But some people are not like that. Some people are born to find faults with something else. One of my friends came to Sri Lanka and he gave us a party, free party, right? So I was the organizer of the party. I was very happy to organize that party because he's paying the bill, I'm organizing this kind of situation. I go to the hotel and hotel guys say, it's slightly expensive, is it okay? I said, please, I no problem. I'm not paying, right? So we organized the party. So I think about 16 people came to the party, 3 different vans. So when we went for the party, so he has given the food, drinks, music, all that in his account. We were all friends, right? So after the party, we got into the vehicle. When we got into the vehicle, so there were 6-7 people in our vehicle, in our van. We got into our house, put the vehicles and so then one of my friends said, Chandra, by the way, he gave us a gift. For all of us, he gave a gift. So one of my friends said, Chandra, did you see the gift? Of course, we had opened the gift to see what it is. My friend said, there's a small damage on top of it. I was thinking, free gift. There's a small damage. Then I realized there's a small damage. I said, okay, but I was now trying to come to a positive news about the party that my friend organized. Then he said, Chandra, what was the welcome drink? No one can drink it. Then I realized that was true. Because when I came in, they gave me welcome drink. I tried to drink it. You can't. I put it somewhere and went in. But he's still keeping the welcome drink on his top of his head. So what I'm trying to say is some of us look at the quite negative things. I think all of us have a person inside who will try to look at the negative things. Our aim is to push him down and balance him. So my first message. Happiness is a journey. We need to decide to be happy on daily basis. That's what we should be doing. Whatever the negative things goes on, there's a positive side of the story as well. There are more people suffering from without having the basics where we are worrying about some of the small mistakes in the luxuries that we have. So that's the first message of mine. Which is happiness is a journey. Let's decide to be happy in everything that we do. Let's try to look at the positive side of everything that we do. That's I have 4 messages. That's the first message. Are we in agreement, first of all? Are we in agreement with the message? Are we in agreement with the message? Yes or no?
Yes.
So let's try to share. There will be a lot of people who look at you as an inspiration. Let's share that message. My second message. I have seen in Sri Lanka, we have a lot of leaders, a lot of CEOs, a lot of general managers, a lot of managing directors, but they are very high in their position. But for me, they are not leaders. Let's say, just to give a little example, let's say there is someone who is organizing an event, major event for 3 days. The person who is organizing the event has a list of everything that needs to be done every 10 minutes in the next 3 days. He has a people of 20 people who is working for him. He will monitor with all 20 people. Have you done it? Have you not done it? Why not change, improve, take actions? He followed up everything in the 3 days and event is absolutely successful. Does it make him a good leader? No. He's a very good manager. Whether to decide whether he's a good leader or not, we should speak to the team who worked for him for the 3 days and see how inspired they are after the 3 days to organize another event. As a CEO of the Alberta, I have 8 direct reports. And each of them have many others, those who report to. If I look at my 8, I call it SLT senior leadership team, and I have 32 in total. Out of this entire 32 in my mind, there are only 3 great leaders in this 32. They might not be the best performers. 2 of them are, 1 is not, but they are the best leaders. So what's the difference between those 2? Someone come and talk to you. Let's say someone come and talk to you. You give him you allocate half an hour with him. The guy who came and talked to you goes back. When he goes back, he's thinking how great this man is. Then you are not a leader, you are a manager. Someone comes and talks to you. After he goes, he thinks, wow, how great am I? I should have done I can do many more things. I should have done that. I am sure I can do better from tomorrow. If he thinks like that, after talking to you, then you are a leader. So this confusion of a lot of so-called leaders who are management is very important, I understand. The organizations which has only leadership will collapse as well. You need to have the management side as well, but you can't replace less management with more leadership. You got to have a proper balance of both. So we shall try to be more leaders, more inspiration for the others, for them to achieve better rather than telling our story. Our story can only be a part of the inspiration of the journey. So that's my second message. Second message is to say, can we be more leaders than be more managers? My third message is what I call all of us are packages. All of us are packages. All our parents, all our friends, all our co-workers are packages. What I mean by package is 80% of everyone, 80% of the people around us are great. In the sense, if you take any one of them, they have 80% of great qualities, 20% of the qualities that we don't like. The same situation with my father, same situation with our parents, same situation with our colleagues. There are 20% things that we don't like. The issue is, sometimes we concentrate on that 20% and sometimes we try to correct that. Try to correct our parents, try to correct our wives, husbands, colleagues. It doesn't work. I don't think we should concentrate on that 20%. If you concentrate on the 20, 20 will become 30. I think we should concentrate on the 80%. So we should never try to correct the parents. We should never try to correct husband, wife. I think that we mostly agree. Even the colleagues, I don't think it's those who are working with me, always trying to find their faults and correcting it is not the journey. There are 80% great things. We should concentrate on that 80%, talk about 80%. Hopefully 20% will come down as we go on. So my message is, everyone is a package. My message is, everyone is a package. Let's try to look at the positives of the people around. Let's try to go and tell that. Let's try to go and tell how valuable they are for our life. Let's try to go and tell how amazing for us to be associated with them. 20% will settle down as we go on. I was having a chat with a different audience recently. I said, your mother, don't try to correct your mother. 20% is wrong. Forget about that 20%, concentrate on the 80%. One of the girls from the audience say, yeah, if it is 20, I can do something, but with my mother's case, it's 40%. So I said, if it is 40, you have a fight with her. But 20, we should be able to live. So my third message is, everyone is a package. Even we are. You can't take only 80% of the good things from your wife, or husband, no, parents, or friends, and forget about that 20%. It doesn't work like that. Next message is power of words. I think recently, today I'm coming here from the golf club because we sponsored one of the event at the golf club. So I had to go and give some gift and all that, right? So Dankoto was a sponsor me. So three of my sales guys who were doing the work, 3 managers were there, they are the people who organize it. The event was not good for me. I realized a lot of things that we should have done had not been done. So after the event, we came out because I was rushing here. And I had a chat with them for a few minutes. I said, very good. Very good. Because there are about 60% of the great things that they have done, 40% of the things they are not done right. I forgot about 40% for today. I was thinking today is Friday. I mean, let them go and tell everyone at their house the CEO is very happy, event was very good and all that. Next Wednesday, I have a sales meeting with them. At the sales meeting, I will never forget the mistakes that our people do. I'll never forget for next 10 years, no chance. But I let them go and enjoy. I gave a little warning. I said, amazing event, good, thank you very much, my dear. I'm going. Few things to talk, we'll talk on Wednesday. So they will think about the few things, but the mistakes that I saw, I'll take up at Wednesday 4 p.m. Words has an amazing power. We'll have to use it very carefully. These are the managers that we call butt managers. You know what butt managers are? Butt managers are the people who come and say, you've done an amazing job, great, but look at this. So let's not be butt managers. Let's give the appreciation that needs to be given 100%. The mistake that we have seen, address them at a separate occasion, so they would have enjoyed the initial part. So my message is power of words. I'm not trying to give examples of highways, but 13th of April, I was coming from the example of power of words. I was coming from coming to Colombo. One of my best friends drew the vehicle, my vehicle. He's a crazy friend. So on the highway, he said, Chana, no petrol is away. I think you told me before. This is 12 o'clock in the night, 13th of April. So now I don't know where the petrol sheds are. So there's a number in the highway 1919, is it right? So I said, let's call that number. Who else to call? So I put on speaker and dial that number. I said, we have passed this exit where we can get the petrol. Yeah, go answer. He said, number 1. So I highway petrol shed company petrol shed. So I knew that thing. Okay, 5 or 6. Secondly, he said, sir, Bagla said, Wahani never petrol network. Api rupiah mecharak ganwa ilang exit tekrata. Which is also true. Thirdly, he said, sir, ilang exiting you pass that exit. From the next one, you go to your right hand side. 300 meters, there's a petrol shed that is open for 24 hours. Because I used to go to that when I was in that day. So you put the phone down. So we did not exit from the next one. We went as per instructions. The petrol shed was there, 12 o'clock. We filled the tank and we came back. In the way, I was thinking, he told me 3 things, right? All 3 statements are right. I didn't call the fuel station association. No. I called the highway, they don't know. Second one, of course, they charge a fee to take it out. Third one, he told me on the petrol station. What I was thinking is, if he told me the same 3 things in the other way around, it would have made a big difference for me. You would have said, don't worry. Ilang exiting and a I said, Mama, I hear about it. Third part, he will now the petrol. So sometimes we say things without seriously thinking about. Generally, my experience, whenever I have fight with someone, I will get told. Whenever I send a nasty email, I will get told. So words are powerful. Let's try to select them carefully. Let's not try to upset everyone around us. Let's not try to upset everyone around us. Try to appreciate them more. Let's try to say good things that they are doing. Let them be inspired to be with us. We will help them to be the best in their own version. So those are the 4 messages that I wanted to share. Other than me being the CEO of Dankodo Porcelain, I teach for SEMA. The reason why I'm saying that is SEMA is, SEMA is telling us, I was about SEMA, but SEMA is telling us don't teach theories now. Which I hated 5 years ago. I said, look here, without taking theory, what I'm going to do? SEMA is telling, don't teach the theory. Tell us there's a theory like that. Details they can Google whenever they want to use the thing. Which is right. So the subject that I teach is called the case study, absolutely a practical subject. The examples that I have shared are the ones that we are trying to apply for real world situations, companies in my case study there. So SEMA is related to the 4 examples that I have shared. So that's all what I wanted to share with you. Those 4 examples. Let's try to remember 50% of them. Generally what happens is whenever you come and listen to someone, general feeling is superb, will implement, and after you have the call to, you can't remember who spoke even. Right? So let's try to see whether we can continue certain things with the dinner after the dinner today. Again, thank you very much for inviting. I'm really pleased to be here, happy to be here. Would love to come whenever we can be ahead. Thank you very much. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chandan Gunawardena. Of course, the 4 things that he said, let me go through a quick repetition of the same. Happiness is a state of mind. Find ways and means of focusing on the happiness of things, not necessarily focusing on the sad news and the bad news. Also, can we be more leaders? Essentially, as in many of you who are in senior leadership positions here, because you have gone through this in your work commitments. Can you do more leaders than focusing on being a good manager? And also the 80-20 rule, the package will focus on the good things and commit on the good things. That is something, and of course, finally, the power of words. What things can be done with what we speak. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Chandan. And with that, I'd like to move on to our next speaker, and she will speak on being relevant through uncertainty. Now, we have with us Ms. Zara Ansari, the country manager of SEMA Sri Lanka and Maldives. Country manager of Maldives, and is a management accountant with over 18 years of work experience across banking, business process outsourcing, telecommunication, and professional education. She was also named in the LMD's Women in Business A-list in March 2022 and in Millennial Torchbearers A-list in 2020. She's a proud fellow member of SEMA, holds an MBA from the University of Sri Jawaharlal and is a project management professional of PMI USA. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Zara Ansari.
Good evening, everyone. So until I look at my slides up on screen, I'm going to ask you a question. I do know the answer to some of you, but not for all. How many accountants in the house? How many finance professionals in the house? No, those two. Yes. All right, sorry, yes. Actually, all the other members, so speakers are also members. What got you to where you are? It's not going to keep you there. Our topic today is about digital finance, right? I am sure some of you will be wondering, okay, are we going to learn about robotics? Are we going to learn about AI, ML, and all of that? Not right now, but if you join Chandan with the C-suite group, yes, definitely you'll be learning all of that. That is what we are currently teaching in our CGMA professional qualification through SEMA. Thank you, Karan. So most of the finance and accounting professionals, I wouldn't say most. Some of them would actually be like this right now. Because what we learned in the past, trust me, when I learned my T account, my double entry and all of that, irrelevant in a world where you have all systems running it for you. You don't need to be doing the double entries. Right. Okay. I'm not touching it. Anyways, let me keep moving on from that. I'll make two. So the world of accountants is now much more than numbers. Gone are the days that we had accountants who used to, do all the number crunching. I always very proudly say accountants are much more than numbers, especially SEMA accountants, because we create influence, we advise businesses. And I'm sure those SEMA members in the audience can relate to what we talk about, because we always focus on ensuring people remain relevant through uncertain times. They remain relevant through whatever be the times. So I know it's not presentable, but that's fine. So there are so many things happening out there in the world right now. Gone are the days that accountants worked in finance alone. Now you have finance business partners who are assisting every function of the business. In fact, most of my SEMA accountants, my membership, they always come back and tell us they start at the bottom, they start in different functions before they actually go into a fully financed role. Why? Because they need to be aware of what's happening in the world, how geopolitics is impacting their own organizations, their countries, their economies. So something for all of us accountants and non-accountants as well to be aware of is impact of the geopolitics, impact of what's happening in other economies, like monetary economies, currency fluctuations on earth. Ever thought that Madam Truss will go and do that along with the Chancellor, and the impact of that sterling. None of us would have ever anticipated anything to impact. Thank you. So none of us expected anything like a war in Ukraine to impact us, right? We thought, let's find COVID here. Perhaps, different variations of COVID would come across, and that's it. But no, we have the war in Ukraine, and that's not the end. There's so much more happening. I am sure you all would have seen and heard about the World Bank and IMF reports that's coming up, right? That says 90% of the world is going to get impacted by the crisis, financial crisis. There's going to be hunger crisis. I am not emphasizing on the negatives here, Chandna, but this is the reality that the C-levels, the finance people, and all professionals need to be aware of. So be here to be prepared, to not just survive, but thrive even during such times. Climate change. I am sure none of us thought it was going to rain today and, for us to have a smaller gathering than expected. But do you also know that this is the year that had the hottest weather across Sri Lanka, across UK? Most of our colleagues are there, right? It was summer. So climate change is very real. And God, the person said no, he's no longer the president of US. But we need to account for it. We need to, see how it impacts our demand, our products, especially be it garments, be it food. So again, summarizing, even technology, we need to be aware, no matter whether we are already having a seat at the table, whether we are a CXO trying to be the CEO, or even if we are professionals in whatever we function that we are in. And of course, working with people is so much more different now, because most of the companies would have hybrid settings. We have probably 5 generations working at the same time, from the baby boomers to the Gen Zs, who are complete different ballgame to deal with. These are some of the technologies like I alluded to right at the beginning. So these you need to be aware of if you're going to be in the work setting for the next couple of years at least. But this is not just it. That's why there is a question mark. There are more and more technologies that are coming up. At least if you don't know this, just Google cloud computing, even metaverse, how it can help you. Artificial intelligence, RP. Most companies are already doing that. I don't think I should be taking examples, but we still know companies who have a manual invoicing process, all of us know, right? Where they give you receipts. And you have to have staff coming in and doing that entire process, where you can actually employ an RPA bot at a very cheap price, who do all that work for you. Which will take, don't worry about the human factor, because we need human resources to do other things. Because today's world, we are highly connected through social media, through customer service points and stuff. But we also want immediate solutions, right? Don't we all need, like, whenever we want to find out maybe the cost of something, we want it at our fingertips. And if it's not there, we're very unhappy, right? And then we go and hammer it on Facebook saying, okay, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. Or perhaps even make a TikTok video. I am sure most of you are aware of TikTok as well, right? A very good marketing tool. If you're aware of it, you can sell your product. So I am sure, Chandra, you all would also be on TikTok, right? Most of us who are in B2 sales. So we need to be aware of this so that we bring value to our businesses. Skills and careers of the future. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but most of this is from the World Economic Forum. So if you all want to know how the world is moving, how the things are changing, try and get yourself read up on research, especially World Economic Forum. They put out the reports in Jan-Feb of each year. And this talks about, by 2025, what the new jobs would be. And on the other side, the skills and careers of the future. So let's also look at this. When this started, most of us in Sri Lankan companies had different expectations. By the time we hit March, April, it was more about where do I find gas, where do I find petrol, where do I survive. So expectations about growth and so on are quite high. But our stakeholders also want so much more. And these stakeholders are not just, the listed shareholders, like in the case of a PLC, but across board, everybody, the public. This is a very interesting research that was done by Edelman. It's called the Edelman's Barometer. So basically, this talks about trust. And if you all remember, April 9, May 9th, June 9th, right, July 9th, and so on, we had certain things happening in our country. Why? Because there was a problem with trust in terms of the government. So for anyone having a seat at the table or being at the C level, trust is extremely important. And that also is about false information and false news being used as a weapon. This doesn't happen only in business settings, it happens across board anywhere. It could be in organizations, it could be even in family settings. So we are more and more convinced that we are being lied to by societal leaders. And why does this matter to us? Because as the C-suite, as the CEOs of the future, we need to create trust. We need to be trusted. And that's something we need to really emphasize on if we are to be respected, like my previous speaker alluded to. So here I am capturing a journey of a CFO to a chief value officer. First step, especially this is targeted towards the ones who are already in finance. The role of the CFO has completely changed. And if you're working for an organization that hasn't gone through this cycle yet, very soon you will. Or at least you will be forced to by your own stakeholders. So this includes not just adapting technology, but becoming purpose-driven leaders. I'm going to skip some of the slides because I've realized there's not too many finance people here. So this is a little bit about where we come in. So in 2017, CIMA tied up with the American Institute of CPAs, and now we are called the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. We are much larger, much stronger, and in fact, we are the leading and largest professional accountancy body in the world. And why will that matter? Because this is our ambition and we are actually doing. What are these? And if you're not investing in your lifelong learning, in reskilling yourself, you're going to get outdated. No matter what function you work in, whether you're finance or no matter what, if you don't have the right communication skills, if your technology skills are not up to date, what's going to happen if Chuck was not keeping himself updated? The 32 odd people under him, let's face him out. Really. Luckily, he's teaching this to a lot of CFOs through our C-suite route, so he will not have that issue. But be aware of all of this. One customer complaint going the wrong way can actually bring you completely down, right? So that's why in SEMA, we teach all of this, our competency framework. So anyone coming on board the qualification, no matter what age they come in at, usually it's 16 plus, but we also have the mature youth, which I'll talk about in a bit. They will be kept updated, not just on the digital skills that I was talking about earlier, which is new to us, the technical, the business, the people, and leadership skills as well. How many of you are aware of ESG and the importance of ESG? If you're not, perhaps maybe in the next OPA president's tenure, we could probably do a session about ESG because this time is coming to an end. It's something very, very important because that is what's going to bring value to businesses. And there is a criteria that's coming for all Sri Lankan companies that's exporting to the EU. There are standards that are coming. Already the government industry is following those standards. It's going to impact other companies as well. So I'm not going to go into detail here. Just summarizing because I'm aware of my time is up. Be aware of the trends and changes that's happening in the world. Even if you're not in finance, that's fine. Be aware because you need to take your businesses forward. Whether you work even as a doctor to make more money in your own organizations or to, take the right, do the right thing basically for the people around to achieve the objective that you've set, you need to know what's happening around and how to make use of that, perhaps to monetize or to drive towards your objectives. Have a digital mindset. That does not mean you have to go and spend a lot of money and follow courses, but at least be aware of the bare minimum digital literacy and digital skills. Invest on yourself for your lifelong learning and look at how we can turn challenges into opportunities, just like what Chandra said. Let's not keep looking at things negatively, but look at how we can create something for our country and for ourselves as well. That's about it. Over to you, Clive.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Of course, that was a presentation on being relevant to uncertainty. There must be certain areas of interest that you also might have found in that presentation where we are welcome to connect with you in terms of giving that information out, in terms to understand and pursue those certifications and learning in the course of doing so. Now, the next speaker for this evening is going to walk you through on the topic embracing change and tech adaptation. Now, the speaker is, of course, this is Roshani Jayasundaram, a fellow member of SEMA. By the way, all three speakers today are SEMA fellow members, and she's currently the CEO of the Link National Products Private Limited. She's also an independent non-executive director at Kelsey Developments Limited and the immediate past president, Council of Business with Britain, and the former executive vice president at John Deals PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ms. Roshani Jayasundaram on the topic embracing change and implementation.
gives up on us, right? So. I think Chana and Tahara both talked about change and how to go and stay relevant and advance with time. So I have very little to talk about really in that context. But I just want us to think about, I mean, very relevant, Zahara showed a dinosaur. We just need to think about how we are dinosaurs in a sense. And we will be extinct, if not next year, in another 100, 200 years, 1,000 years, whatever. So I just want us to think, would we ever have thought that we pump petrol with an app in an environment, like she said, we still ask for an invoice in 3 copies, a physical signature and a physical person sitting there, and to get a payment or something. Would you have ever imagined you driving a petrol shed, showing either printed QR code or a QR code on your phone or whatever device you're carrying? Get an SMS that you took your quota and also managed with 20 liters for 7 days. That's I think most important. Would you have thought? So if we have to, and if the techie is available, we'll do it. We didn't do it all this time because we were not forced to do. When I sometimes chat to my son, he's 14 years, so I learn a lot from him. Because I am 100 years old and he's 14 years. And you know, there is so much reverse mentoring that happens. And I'm so glad that we have that. Star Wars that I saw a couple of decades ago is real today. You know, it's happening. Like robots are running around, they're doing all these things. BB2 in some form is happening today. So he talks about different dimensions today, you know, the people who game and all, you know, the children they game. And the games are about aliens and different dimensions and the parallel universes and all, time travel and all of that. Star Wars is real today. So I know something can happen. Matrix, if you watched Matrix, it's happening today. It has happened. We didn't think it will happen when we watched the movie that time. Chips in brains, wearable tech, all of that has happened. If that has happened, and when there's commercial space travel being talked about, I call it editing DNA purely because I don't know what it's called. But in medical terms, I think there is a more professional word for it. You know, we're trying to play around with DNA. We're trying to play around with our makeup. And in a community that's so connected, like Zahara said, in the previous company that I worked, if you went and shopped in one of our supermarkets in the last 5 years, we will know what you bought, when you bought, which outlet you bought, and if you changed the brand in the last 10 to 20 years, what you did, maybe using that data, now they are giving promotions. If you see the promotions that are thrown at you, that's all mining that data that we have. And we started doing that in 2000 and about 2000. But today, McKinsey is coming and helping the company that I worked for before. We mine this data and make sense out of it and make some business use out of it. I will know very soon where you traveled in the last 5, not so much, in the last couple of months. 5 years, I think we didn't have Google Maps. Today, only you will know, but very soon I will be able to access. Another person will be able to access where you are going and what you are doing. If you're going to a restaurant, if you're paying some kind of a bill, if you put all of that together, I can teach the whole lifestyle of a person now. Now, if we are not ready for this change, if we don't embrace this change, and if we don't steer our companies and our industries, and most importantly, and our country towards this, what will we do? I just told this lady who's seated here what my current company does. I was blown away when I walked into Link Natural. When I was told, Link Natural, why don't you come and join and all of that, I thought, oh, okay, they're packing some honey in somebody's garage. That's one thing, herbal, right? When you say herbal and Ayurveda, what's the impression that comes to mind? Kotala, Kirala, Unukarala. And I thought, okay, that's what they're doing. Let me go and have a look. I walked into a research center and a factory setup, which I would have thought in the setting somewhere in the US, in the pharma industry. Absolutely brilliant research center up there, can compete with anyone, but nobody knows for now. So that's one company, and I'm glad I'm associated with that and I'm learning through that. But unless we do that and more, even what we have today will be irrelevant in 2 years' time if we don't keep upgrading. So for Sri Lanka, knowing that I think the app is the lesson here. The petrol app is the lesson one. The whole population in some shape or form embraced it because we were compelled to do it, which means we can, if we have the will and the interest to do it. I talked about my son, all his games are about time travel and different dimensions. I think that will become real in time. It will happen. I'm sure it will. If Star Wars happen and the Matrix happen and the science you saw in Wakanda Forever, I think it was Black Panther, right? The movie. I'm sure that will happen. So in a situation like this, how do we use technology? How do we use the advancement in science for the benefit of humankind? And more importantly, I think before we go and save the world, let's save Sri Lanka, which we really need at this point. How do we use it? We are coming into a food crisis. We all talked about it. The world is coming to a water crisis. There is so much science and technology available. Environment is crying to be saved. Is there something that we can do? I have no answer. And I don't know because I'm not a scientist. I'm not even I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professor. I'm just a normal person who had a commercial career, a corporate career. So I have no answer. I am just wondering there has to be a way. And this I only thought yesterday because there was a person who spoke to me for 90 minutes, wanting to know strategically what we should be doing with some of our businesses. I had no clue what I was going to say when I joined the call. But in the call, I said, maybe something that I'm thinking about and we should be thinking about is you have all the natural, environmental part. And I took this lesson from my current company. And let me share that, even though it's a pitch for my company, though. Link users are 3,000, 4,000 years old Ayurveda wisdom, and uses modern science and technology. You convert that Ayurveda to modern science and create products in a way that's consumable, convenient to consume, and is relevant to today's person. You can't be taking 10 different herbs and making whatever you need every day at home. But if we give it in a sachet or a tablet or a suspension liquid or something, you'll probably consume it. So that's what this company does. So I just learned from that. I was thinking, can we not marry nature with tech? would there be a solution to what we are trying to do? Can we find maybe something, some solution to the food and the water crisis that we are facing? Is there an answer in the tech world for it, in the science world for it? I'm sure there is. Because if you are imagining and dreaming something in another dimension, that's happening, right? And that's why you're thinking about it. So we just need to access it. But that's all I can say because I have no answers. I can only borrow from you and borrow from everyone else. I just only want to ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Roshani Jayasundar Marias, for sharing an experience and also taking us through the journey as well as taking us through an indication of which where we should start thinking. All right, moving on, we have next in line will be the panel discussion, meaning there is an opportunity for the audience to place questions. And of course, I think the panelists are already seated, and who else we need to be invited is the moderator, and it's my pleasure to welcome my colleague, Mr. Chatush Kadiapis, the Associate Manager, Professional Relationships and Thought Leadership, SEMA, who shall moderate the sessions. Chatush, I'll invite you.
Thank you, Tarin. Very good evening. Thank you to the lead panel, President will be your managing committee, the participants and attendees will be here today. I take great privilege and pleasure to moderate this discussion of very, I would say, relevant topic to the changes that are happening in the marketplace. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, few housekeeping rules that we should bring to your attention for facilitation purposes. So, this panel discussion is timed for 30 minutes. We'll try to cover much as possible in terms of questions. Very humble request to keep questions relevant to the topic and as brief as possible in the interest of time. We will go with a more conventional and traditional approach. You may simply raise your question if you have any sort of questions, and I'm sure the team will support in ushering with the mics if mics are available. If there are any specific questions in the end of the directive, and if questions are general, I'll be more than happy to take questions to us with the panelists. So without further delay, I would like to open this session for the time of question and answers with the audience. Please do raise your hand if there are any questions. Yes, President.
I have one question to Dulita and Zara. In my personal opinion, counting will be a thing of the past within the next 10 years or so. It's my personal opinion. I think it will happen, including operations, that is body operations, are being handled by robots now. How does the profession address this situation? I'm sorry, I'm so much away from the profession. I'm curious to know as to how. I'm sure it is being addressed. Thank you very much.
Mr. Luca, would you like to say?
I would like both of them to respond.
So if you saw in my slides, I was, yes. So yes, accountancy, like I said earlier, it was the double entries, the normal way of doing accountancy, definitely is going to get replaced and has already got replaced. So that's why, like I was explaining, the role of the people in finance, it's now moving from being the bean counters towards being the value creators. And again, they are the ones to drive these automations. They are the ones to drive these trends, because end of the day, someone's got to get all those tech in place. So if we are not aware of, running the RPA, where we need probably the bots to come in, who's going to do that? So the finance role will remain, but in a with a different skill set. No longer the data, the number crunching guys, because you have data scientists to do that for you. You will have the systems to do all the forecasting, the scenario planning, and half of the stuff that we don't do in the country right now, but it's all there. But the finance people of the future will need to have a digital mindset to figure out what systems to use and how to take businesses forward. I would actually like to ask Chandra to add a little bit from our E1 syllabus, Chandra, a little bit about what you usually talk, because he is, like I said before, training people with these new skills, the new skill set that's needed. And yes, accountancy that we all knew of in the past is actually going off. And that's why we need to follow the right kind of credentials and courses, even if it's not a fully fledged CGMA, CMA professional qualification, at least a short course, so that you understand, like the finance people understand, to visualize data, how to, get the story out from data. And these are all very practical things. I'm not talking about something in science fiction, but this is actually happening. And we are training people for that. Yeah.
So since I wanted to start, I'm a typical accountant. Old account. My father was also an accountant. Family background is accountant. But last 10 years, so for me, the biggest achievement was to balance the balance sheet kind of thing, do that detailed P&L, consolidated account. That was my passion those days. Now, CMA, about 10 years ago, removed entire this hardcore accounting from the syllabus entire. As an example, in my case study that I teach, calculators are not needed. Some people still keep a calculator, but none of the questions will need any calculation. CMA removed all those hardcore accounting 10 years ago, I think, and included things like artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud computing. So if you look at the CMA syllabus now, it is mostly, I would say, for the future. So those days you are doing detailed calculations are not there now. Now, let me give an example from the Danko tour. I have recruited an accountant. Sarah might not like it, but I don't know. I have recruited an accountant who has only engineering qualification. So I call him an accountant. Now he's there. All other accountants are attempting to kill him on daily basis. I'm protecting him. Monpo University, I had taken a guy, I said, you are an accountant. He was like it. I don't know why. So what I realize is in accounts department, we don't need guys with the massive knowledge on double entry, payment checking. I need someone with common sense to add value to the organization. See where we are going, now we're on the right track. So those two examples I'll just give it to show that CMA has changed a lot in that journey. Which I think we did it, CMA did it too early. 10 years ago, we were the people going against and saying, okay, don't remove balance sheet. Don't remove balance in the balance sheet. That's the entire life of all. But it has changed. So I think it's in that direction that we are moving. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Both of them answered your question. Both of them answered your question, right? Which part of the question was not answered? You can restate. I will answer that part. I can repeat the question. Yeah, next time. Also give me an answer. One way to say. Perspective one. Yeah, please answer your question. Question that I made a statement. Accountancy, like many of the other market subjects like law, everything else, will be a thing of the past in about 10 years' time. The future, or at least the person itself, is decided. My specific question is that how does the profession address this issue, not only from the point of view of CMA, entire accounting profession. I'm sorry, I may not be asked to
the right question from the right person, because you are not running the Japanese. I know you have key person there, but to my own general person, I need to know that how, because my specific question is on board, the young generation, right thing. Part of the people not of my young age, people like question, right? Right. How do we how to propose to train game change? Because what happens is once you are in a successful meeting, everything is fine. I'm running my finance department perfectly. But you need to train. I'm not challenging over this. Just ask for my. Thank you.
Can I just add one point there before the answers? So if someone can go to my slides, Ms. Roshani here actually came on board SEMA, I think 2 years ago. During COVID. So she actually came on board one of our fast track routes. So Karan, it's the slides on the fast track route. There is a method for those who are at the C level to actually come on board SEMA and do one exam. Slightly an expensive option, but it's available, and we have at least 30 to 40 C-level people, bank CEOs included, who have actually come on that route and now become SEMA fellow members. So there are people who are actually investing money, even though they are like, the senior generation. I'm not saying you're senior in terms of age, but they're actually spending money and coming on board because they realize that they have to keep themselves relevant. So it's happening. Sorry,
No problem. Accountancy, you are talking about accountancy. We are only can you want to add something to his question?
I just wanted to have another to raise a question with
right. Okay. Can I respond? Yes, and then thank you. Accountancy, you are asking about accountancy. This double entry, has it gone? It's not gone.
It is not go.
It's not gone, right?
It's the big,
So it's not gone, it's still there.
that's the big, yeah.
People have created digital platforms to do that part of the job, which is a rule-based thing. Accounting standards, interpretation of those are rule-based, binary, it's codified. So the packages, you call it ERP systems, workflows, they have sorted out the issue. Who is behind those? Who are people who are creating? Human beings. They have to give life to machines. They have to give life to digital platforms. So there is certain amount of jobs that are available there. Then once now that's where the skill set change need to happen. Since we are now on a digital platform, we are working with bots, we are working with various other tools that are available at our hand. We need to be conversant on those tools, techniques, and what is available in the world. Then talking about accountants, accountants' role can be very different. There are accountants who are looking at accounting per se, which is in accordance with the accounting standards. And there are also accountants who are helping you manage and provide information, management accountants. They do accurate calculations. So the skill set is different. So the focus of, I would say, the CIMA is to prepare those management accountants to be the world-class leading management accountants, right? Then you have the chartered accountants who are certifying and auditing and giving an audit opinion. Again, those people can't be archaic. If digital platforms are carrying information pertaining to financial statements at a source level, you got to be conversant in those digital platforms to interrogate with them, see how those are working, and see whether those information which is processed through the digital platforms are reflected in the financial statements in accordance with the standards that are relevant and applicable. So the auditor also need to have this skill set to be able to audit properly and give an opinion on the financial statements. An auditor also need to have common sense. So the third aspect that was coming out was about now there are generation gaps and people who have passed examinations in the past and now digital age is coming. How are we going to bridge this gap? That's where the continuous professional education and development comes into play, and where people need to have that open mindset, be able to learn these techniques, tools, and keep abreast of what is going on. Otherwise, as Zara showed, being a management accountant or a chartered accountant or any accountant you may call it, they will all be in that era. We will remain in that era and we will never have a future. I hope I did justice to your question. If you have further any other questions, I'm happy to answer. We can talk about it for month of Sundays, seated here. Take the house, come home.
Thank you. Thank you for those responses.
Is I'm referring to China today. This regarding the happiness that you talked about, and I mean there was certain lot of good examples that you are given. You know, but I fought a war for 30 years apparently, and right we went through a lot of hardships, and I am retired now and still working for survival. So as you say, day to day happiness, of course, day to day. But you know, as she said about uncertainties when we talk about, right? And when you see that the next day you don't know what's going on, whether you have anything to eat. I'm asking you with all your digital finance with how can you connect those things to accountability? I just want to take accountability with this. But I'm not a financial person, but to say, right? I want to see that we have spent so much of money and two governments, two state organizations or three state organizations go and fight a case without even hearing the case that is being taken out. Close an amount of money spent on, I think about 10 to 15,000 pages they have written. Right? It's all taxpayers' money that is being paid. So how can you connect these things? I mean, how can you make these things accountable? So our happiness is that basically I'm being retired people now after giving so much of things to the country, but nobody is talking about it. Right? We being professionals, we talk about certain things, but we can't go beyond that because we have so much of restrictions with military. Even till you die, you are subjected to naval law. That is myself, I am from the Navy. So we are very much, I mean, we cannot do more than that. So what I'm asking you is, what can you all do with this digital platform to see that how these things are streamlined in future? So much of money must have been spent for this. I'm referring to bond case. Just gone, that's all. And these are questions that I mean to see that I mean what's going to be in future at least. Thank you.
So, the first part of the question is, look here, a lot of things are going on around us. So with that situation, tell me I will be happy. Very valid. Second question is, the politically and as a country, when things are going wrong, what we should be doing is one part of it. And I think it relates to the same thing that you asked, can we be really happy? So now look at the individual side of it. Individual, so you're asking the country side, secondary, individual side first, right? So let's look at the country side, individual side first. Now, last 5 days, I have seen of my colleagues who had their family members was admitted to hospital due to various issues. Now, whether you're happy or not, the medical situation is not going to improve. Whether you're sad or not, medical situation is not going to improve. But the huge difference that I saw between those two is one guy takes it as, like in his case, his father. One guy takes it as the kind of the end of the journey. He comes to office and say, the other thing is, his mother was hospitalized due to an accident. The second guy takes it very balanced view. He says, boss, situation is not good. Worse is we'll have to, accident. So there's a situation in the. He said, look here, worst case, my mother will not be able to walk for next 1 year. Best case, 3 months, she will be able to go out of the hospital. The second guy takes a very balanced view of the situation. Both of them are in a real mess. Both of them are in a real mess. The one guy started to think only about the negatives that could happen. So I can't see he putting the energy enough to protect the father. Not that he doesn't like the father. But I went to the hospital of both the women. I say, the first guy in front of the father also, he's saying, go and tell that to the father. If you want to really cry and all that, you can come over to him. Under the father, he'll have to say, yeah, situation is bad, don't worry. The second guy takes a very positive view about it. So it is not what's happening to us. It's on our mind how we look at it. It gives us more energy, surely, to manage the situation. Second question is a difficult one to answer. What we are doing on the country situation, one scam and all that. So I'll try to be careful. Should I be? I'll be. So, but look at the country situation. So officially we are a bankrupt country. Officially, right? I mean, on the own definitions, we are a bankrupt country. This has been created. This is mostly created by us, created by the leaders that we had and all that, what you said, some examples. So we are also mostly responsible for it. We have been living beyond our means, and we have been wanting to have a leader who will give everything free kind of a situation. If someone comes for the elections 10 years ago and say, look here, you vote for me. Next 5 years, I can't give you any benefit, let's work hard. He would have got about 5-6 votes. Instead, if someone comes and says, I'll increase the salaries of entire public sector, I think we had the knowledge to say there's a limit to the money. So partly we are responsible. My reading on the country's situation today is we are screwed up. So let's see where we're going to go. I mean, there are other countries who went bankrupt and now running fairly well. Given the current situation, location of the country, a lot of other countries like China and India can't just let us die. They'll have to put the money. A lot of investments from the foreign investors, they'll have to take a haircut and live with it. I feel we'll come out strong. I mean, we had we came out strong. We had worse situation. And Sri Lankans are bad and good side of Sri Lankans will get adjusted as well. So we have already got adjusted. No, actually, QR code is like a little privilege, like it's a very acceptable system. I mean, it's a sad situation, we don't have enough fuel. But I think we have taken a little fun out of it. So what I'm saying is, it's a bad situation that we are in, but then it's our fault partly. Let's be careful in voting hereafter. And lots of countries have come out of the, I think, I don't know, I'm not a, right? There are enough countries, when you look at Greece, right? They came into the situation. Some came out much faster. So let's hope things will be better, but then we'll be careful, of course. I mean, we believe in the good but love the low kind of situation, right? Let's hope for it, but then let's try to do our part. So that's my second part, and thank you very much for fighting for the country. Thank you very much for that. I work with many with the same story, because in Hyderabad we had a factory in Vavuniya. So when we went to the start of the factory in Vaunia, I never forget, General Jagat Das told me, දෙමළ මිනිස්සු ඉන්නේ මේ පැත්තේ factory දාන්න, we should do something for them because they have been suffering for years. So I think we had some amazing generals there. That's why the things got improved. So thank you for fighting for the country, and let's hope we'll have a better country as we go on. Thank you.
Can I just add on to what you mentioned? One is certainly we as professionals also need to voice concerns over what happened and ensure that those kind of things will not repeat. So as far as we are concerned, we have to tell the necessary legislative and regulatory frameworks to be present in our country so that the perpetrators and the wrongdoers can be brought before justice. That's number one. Changes in legislations and regulations that are governing these type of transactions, including the sugar scam, which was an overnight affair. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about it because the ministers are having the power to do the changes in the gazette. I mean, at the recently held tax seminar, somebody was saying changing the percentage of the VAT is at the mercy of a pen of the minister. So these are the challenges we have, and we're all educated people. We are talking about literacy over 96%, but are we educated enough to understand these issues that are prevalent in the country and go and put your cross against the right name, right candidate? Now, this education is something that is lacking in our country. So we must tell, and we should begin that within OPA to be educated and to go and vote for right people. Then, once you have a informed base of voters, they will know whom to be brought to do the right amount of work. There is also something called non-compliance with laws and regulations can be reported. Yeah, there is a non-compliance with a law or a regulation in a corporate body or otherwise, anybody can complain about it. And we also have a right to information act. But still for all, there are certain loopholes within those laws and regulations, which is not allowing certain people to pass through. So those are things we need to, as a country, we need to put those processes and systems and the regulations and the legal framework in place and then move forward as a progressive nation. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Zulindar. With that, we have 5 more minutes. If there's, yes, sir. You can get a mic right at front, please. Last question.
Yeah. Sorry, this question of course relates to Zahra and Channa. Now you said that 52% of the fortune companies were extinct in 2000. Because I was reading some time back, that was called Management Today. Yeah, of the companies which went bankrupt, 64% were actually the CEOs were accountants of the bankrupt companies. That may not relate to this one. Have you got the statistics with regard to this 52%? How many of the 52% the CEOs of those companies were accountants? Have you got? Second question relates to Channa. Now, you are an accountant actually, when I met you a while ago. Then actually, before you, there were 3 accountants.
In fact, I had some shares in your company. I lost because one thing is by way of restructuring, they took out some of our shares. And also I sold because I didn't know, pay in your company. Right? 3 accountants before you were trained. That's why I know maybe more than. You turned it around. Right? Then as an accountant, how did you turn it around compared to the previous one? Suppose some people were speaking of 5 S's and all that. Still for all, that company couldn't survive, more or less. Can you kindly explain how you turned around this company?
So now, number one, this old hardcore accounting, we have somehow, like, I don't think any of those old hardcore accounting has helped us in the journey, but what has helped us in the journey is, since you know about Dangote Bhosle, so when I joined Dangote Bhosle, it was a place of, we had less profit for last 35 years, or marginal profits, losses in some years. What we did as a team was, number one was, I ensured that we have a team on board, not really highly technically capable, but a team that will work with us to go the journey together when things are not going right. They'll come and say, look, we are screw up, what are you going to do? So it was not the hardcore technical knowledge that I went behind in recruiting. But that took about 3-4 months. So in the first 3-4 months of mine, I had to replace out of the 8 senior managers, 5. So I recruited people who are very nice human beings, lot of common sense. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, common sense is not common at all. It's not easy to recruit. But then you recruited the people who would love to have a fight together. Then I spoke to all the employees in the factory and said, whenever Dangote do well, you already do well in terms of actual money, not the benefit and all that. You will get actual money. So we design all the incentive schemes. Whenever we make money, the people will get the money. And they saw it, it's coming. Senior team was kind of working for each other rather than working for a salary. Highly motivated because it's, I mean, in Sri Lanka, you need to have a lot of things to motivate people. One of them is liquor, but then you have various other ways of getting the team to believe in you. And I have removed all these motivational theories inside. I said, there's nothing called motivation. I'll go to employees and say, look, this is actual situation, very difficult situation. This is what I'm going to do. Are you all with me? So that's the very open discussion that we had. Whenever we had profits earlier in a month, when we had profit, we don't tell the employees because we are worried that the union will come and ask for salary increase. But whenever we had the first profit, I spoke to all the employees and said, super profit, we are doing very well. So I think things were very open with them. Had an amazing team who were still amazing team who are committed to give us a fight together. So that's what happened. And the customers, we had a old policy with the customers. When there's a customer complaint, we try to fight and say, no, this is wrong, we can't replace. So I said, if there's a customer complaint, we'll get free. Because the relationship was more useful for me. So recently when I joined, there's a customer who complained about 18,000 marks. So our team came and told me, so 18,000 marks are made. So I spoke to the customer and I said, you want 18,000 marks? I'll do it. No problem. But then after some time, customer called me, don't worry, out of 18,000, 6,000 I can use. I mean, so they will also be balanced. No? And Sri Lankans are also like, not customers of Sri Lanka, but the things are like that. When you are fair, generally other people try to be fair for you. And we created that culture inside. In the first 1 year, I was outside my office in Dankote, and I can see my maintenance manager. He's trying to come and talk to me and not coming as he'll come little, take a call and talk to someone else. I can see he's trying to avoid me or he's trying to tell something. I said, come here, what's happening? He said, sir, that machine we wanted spare parts. No, I said, yeah, I know it's coming from Germany, it takes 3 weeks. Yes, sir, but last Saturday I saw similar parts on the internet. And I ordered, sir. So then I realized he was trying to avoid me. So news is not a good news, I realized it. So I said, so if you order, it's a good thing, whatever. So I got the item today, sir. So I said, super, what? So they can't use, sir. So I said, What do you mean? Internet so then he said, he told me he ordered you Sunday morning, so I wanted to see how the money was paid. He said, sir, my credit card is yours. Because mommy told me, then he was telling, then I asked how much, 120,000 rupees, not a big amount. So they said, sir, they want me came and then. So I was just outside my office. I quickly called my CFO and said, give him a check of 120,000. I gave it first. I didn't try to do investigation why he did not, because if I do that, he will never go out of his way to do anything for the company. Now he knows if he take a risk, I'm there to back him up. And I hope he won't pay 12 million. And then in that case, of course, I'll take all my theories back and sack him. Doesn't even an issue. But I was thinking, okay, his motivation is more important for me. Otherwise, he will only do the things that will surely work. A company who is doing the things that they know for sure will work will never grow. We'll have to do 10 things with a doubt. 2 of them might work, will be able to work. The same engineer. This the story that I told happened about 3 years ago. What 2.5 years ago? I have been with Dampu for 2.5, 3 years. Last year, he took a major risk and did a experiment on the raw material. Unfortunately, I bring my raw material from New Zealand. Yes, I'm in Sri Lanka, but I bring my raw material. Maggie comes from New Zealand. He did a test with the local material, and again, he has done it without telling us. He has done it without telling us. 3 months. It's a success. So we can replace some of the New Zealand material percentage with the local material. So I was thinking that 100,000 is paid today because unless you get them to do things, take a risk, we will never cross. That's something that we teach in SEMA. We say, generally we say, take a calculator risk. In SEMA, we say there's nothing called calculator risk. Take the risk. Go ahead in life. So it's part of the case study syllabus. In the case study, that is something that we are going to build to the students. So that's what we did. And they have worked. So I hope they'll continue to work and it will be helpful for others as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for an attractive and engaging session. I'd like to hand it over back. The Master of Ceremonies, Claridu Eva.
Thank you very much, Chandrashka, and thank you very much for the questions from the audience. Plentiful questions and plenty interesting questions, by the way, and thank you very much for the panelists as well for answering. Well, with that, we have prepared on behalf of AIC, ACIMA, and OPA. There is a token of appreciation that is being presented to all the speakers. So, to do the honors, I'd like to have the presence of Mr. Dilip Pereira, Engineer Upali Javadana, Engineer Ravi Rubusingham, Engineer Saman Khandanarachi onto the front of the table. Okay, all right. All right, so can we have this? Right, this all right, okay. So let's start with towards the far end of the corner. Very first speaker this evening, we presented to Mr. Chandra Gunawan. Thank you very much for your time and your presentation.
Thank you for my question. Well, thank you.
And we have with us next Ms. Roshani Jasundar Moraes and the token organization for the persons and the time today. And of course, there's a token of appreciation for Ms. Zahra Ansari for time and presence here today. Thank you very much, Ms. Zahra Ansari.
That's what it
Message, but thank you very much once again. Let's give our panelists a big round of applause for their time and energy. Thank you. And with that, we are now heading towards the end of the session, and I now have the pleasure of inviting Engineer Pali Java, the General Secretary of OPA, who is a Chartered Engineer in Electronic and Telecommunication Engineering and corporate member of IESL, former editor, former member, Assistant Secretary, Vice President of the VA, and the District Governor of 2012-2013 at Lions Club International District 306 A1, and the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations Association of Sri Lanka to deliver the concluding remarks and board thanks.
Thank you. President, the decrease of the table. Although there is a group outside, I can, the panelists have managed to light up the auditorium with your presentations. The accountants have given the nation forward, and it is a privilege to have you here at the OPA. First and foremost, I thank Mr. Chanda Gunawardana. He spoke about our messages. I think you can bring our messages. Oh, thank you very much, sir, for your presentation and given us more information. Then for my sincere thanks, is Tara Ansari. She talked about digital skills, transformation of the digital and importance of the digital skills. Thank you, madam, for your presentation and give us many information about it. For your participation and delivered the presentation. So then I thank this is person Yasundara. She talked about empathy, change, share the old experience. Thank you, madam, for your presentation and participation for this event. How digital finance helps to us. Thank you, madam. I thank the moderator, Mr. Tapuskari Anvis. I hope he's the person who coordinated with us to organize this seminar, and we try to get more information from the panelists to educate all the audience. Thank you, Mr. Tapuskari, for your role. So I should thank our own leader, President of OPA, Mr. Gurutha Pereira. He is a leader, vision. I can say that he's a visionary leader because at the right time, right place, he has given right information. Today, not only the president, but he's the one of the panelists of the automatically he has done this panelist job. Thank you, Mr. Gurutha, for your role as a president as well as the one of the panelists of the today's seminar. I thank to Engineer Saman Pandanarachi, Vice President Chairman of the Seminar Workshop and Program Committee, and the Engineer Ravi Rupasinghe, Chairman of the Vice President and the Chairman of the Category and Skills Development Committee. Both of them organized. I hope this is the 10th seminar organized. Ninth seminar within short period of time for the betterment of the OBA members. Thank you, Engineer Ravi and Engineer Kama. I thank to past presidents here with us today, Mr. Yush Padyakar and Mr. Ruan Garagi. Your valuable participation is encourage all the participants. And without your participation, this will be not a live program. So I thank all the participants physically as well as joined from the virtual platform. I thank all the participants. Our own staff members and the center management, they have done good support service to carry out this program. Digital finance helps to the organizing all the members as well as the professionals. Thank you, all the staff members. At last but not least, master of the ceremony, Mr. Thagindu, I thank for your service. To conclude today's proceedings, while thanking all of you for wonderful session, wish you a pleasant evening. All of you are invited for the fellowship and enjoy a Hoppers night served at our restaurant. Please take care and safe journey home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Engineer Upali Java, the General Secretary of OPA. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just notice, if by any chance you happen to smell it, after dance has been done, after soon the time right now is around 8. This is why I won't sing. I'm sorry. Kalau kita tanya apa sebenarnya, kalau kita kangen bilang apa, itu satu titik kami ambil restoran titik konsulti sebenarnya.
Yes, that's okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll do next time also. Sure, the right.
So one of the Egypt that offers. Because what my son, we genuinely, if they needed today to get it. Oh, yeah, they're like, but. I'll give you that, but what that, I'll do it. I'll give it to you. Did I talk to them? I'll give you one and I make it. My good friend, and we get me very close together. Yeah, I do that completely. Yeah, now I'm going to that. How impressive that is. Like this. Okay, we did that. Sorry, they get used to that. Is so we didn't get it.
You understand? Very strange. It is. ඉන්නව කරන්න වෙනවා කරන්න වෙනවා අලත් it's correct it's vision so I'm this person who I'm actually again back up you can be like that người ta có chuyện đến tận rồi đến sáng nhưng họ vừa có cái chuyện thì sẽ xuống đua với cái sự là sự chính xác thì như có là đang và đang nói tại vì cái về cái chuyện là cái bên là cái